Welcome to the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel on this fine Sunday afternoon in South Bend as the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in their green jerseys for the second straight game play host to a Big Ten opponent, the Michigan State Spartans.
Charlie, super excited to be back on the stream today, and listen, it's going to be a fun one. These are two teams who have had seasons that are quite similar in the opponents they played. Notre Dame actually, in a sense of a record-wise, is better 3-1 on the season. Michigan State is 1-2. However, this Michigan State team beat Notre Dame last year, so they're no slouch. They can play some good ball, and it's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, that's Chris Daly, my partner. I'm Charlie Morris. Two excellent men behind the back as well, with Nick Ruthroff and Sam Ohaj, bringing you today's action on the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel. And as you mentioned, some similar opponents, Western Michigan, a common matchup between these two teams. Notre Dame comes in today with a couple changes in their lineup, Chris.
Yeah, they do. Engel, Gordon, and Colin Artis are out. They are the three main kickers for this Notre Dame team, all for separate reasons, that is. And they're going to have to rely on their fourth, fifth-string kicker. It looks like Will Linke, according to Justin Hickey, the head coach of Notre Dame, will be taking up the kicking duties today. So going to see how he can do. He's from London, England, so I mean he has a lot of experience in the sport, and I think he should fill in quite nicely at that spot.
Yeah, he'll be starting in the 15 position. Linke, a lot of speed, and we'll get to see what he can do with his foot, but it's Andrew Packard, as he usually does, kicking it away, and Michigan State will be first to receive in a strong tackle. Notre Dame's defense will start to get to work, and Michigan State's offense not in great field position right out of the gates as we're underway here at Stinson Rugby Field in South Bend. Notre Dame 3-1, ranked number 19 in the country. First time they've been ranked in a couple years. And Michigan State, as you mentioned, Chris, 1-2, but always plays tough. Did beat Notre Dame in 15-on-15 last fall. Notre Dame flipped the script in the spring, winning in the 7-on-7 format, but these two teams have always been evenly matched, and when you get a Big Ten rivalry like this, you can always expect a physical, intense game.
Yeah, and I think for Michigan State, too, a lot of newer rugby players, and as they mature during the season, they're only going to get better and better, so they're becoming more formidable each and every game. As for Notre Dame, so much experience. Even the freshmen, these guys have played all their life, high recruits coming out of high school, and there's a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. It's a young lineup with all these changes today for Notre Dame. So this is a team very experienced and looking for a huge win today to take them to 4-1 on the year and climb up those rankings.
Gonna get a quick chance on the offense as it's flipped all the way out wide to the right, and how about that? A minute and 20 seconds into his first ever game, Zach Banton with a try. Notre Dame is on the board.
Yeah, this place is erupting, Charlie. You can't ask for much more than that as a freshman. First ever game, Zach Banton, and that's just great team rugby there. Nobody being too selfish. Get to the outside. Michigan State showing a bit of a blitz, left the outside open, and Zach Banton, as easy as you like, marches right into the try zone, and huge play there for the Irish.
Yeah, it took only a minute and 20 seconds for Banton in his first game with the team. Also out of London, just like Linke, who's set to go for the conversion here. So what a start to his career. He had a big smile on his face as he ran past, and seems to have some family in the crowd who he was looking at right below us too. So that's one way to get the nerves out of your system, huh?
Yeah, definitely. You really just can't write a better script than that one for Zach Banton. I'm sure he dreamt about that one last night.
Linke, pretty good attempt, but it's going to come up short from basically no angle. So 5-0 Notre Dame. They strike first after the opening kickoff put Michigan State in bad field position. They cause a turnover. And then right away, Notre Dame, right off the scrum, taking advantage, going wide to the right, and Banton's got his first. Linke with the assist, so already you're seeing some of these freshmen that you're talking about, Chris, get involved right away.
Yeah, and this Notre Dame defense, Charlie, as you mentioned, so elite. Only 77 points allowed so far this season. They've scored 113 on the offensive zone. So we've seen, a very stark contrast. You have such a great offense and such a great defense in terms of how they play. They're physical, and then they're fast. This team's explosive. They love to move around. They love to pass the ball. And, of course, they have points on the board now.
A kick by Michigan State doesn't go the required distance of 10 meters, so it'll be a scrum coming up in the middle of the field for the Irish. Again, Irish wear green weekend here at Notre Dame's campus. The football team picked up the victory yesterday against Louisville in their green jerseys. Notre Dame volleyball with 2 home games this weekend, wearing green in both of those. Men's soccer.
Huge win.
Beat Clemson.
Huge win.
Avenged the ACC championship last year with a comeback 2-1 win.
Yeah, they avenged actually the national championship, and Matthew Rue with a good goal. But let's see here. This is going to be fun for the rugby. I like these green jerseys. Stick out.
I do as well. Notre Dame wore these in their last home game, which was a victory against Michigan, a week early.
Yeah.
But they get another chance here on Irish Wear Green weekend, and against a green opponent, but a much darker shade of forest green. Notre Dame in more of the leprechaun green. And the scrum right at midfield is finally fed through, and the Irish will take it a little bit of space. They'll go to the right again and try to kick it ahead. This one's fading right, though, and will go into touch.
Yeah, just trying to get better field position here is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And one thing I want to see out of Notre Dame today, again, is playing through Patrick McKenzie, the 8-man. We've talked about him all season long, the captain of this team, the senior. He's been phenomenal thus far throughout this 2024 fall season. And if they can get him going, as well as Jackson Graham, who was great against Michigan. We saw him in the second half there right away, scoring a try. Get those 2 guys going, get them moving. Notre Dame's going to be hard to stop today.
Yeah, that's the core of that Notre Dame lineup. Amid some other changes around them, especially in the back line, that center of the field, 6, 7, 8, Jackson Graham, John Barnes, and Captain Patrick McKenzie, as you mentioned, they're still all together, and they've been a formidable trio in the middle of the field for Notre Dame. We'll have to see if they can stick to it. As bouncing ball, trouble for the Spartans.
Yeah, sloppy play there from Michigan State, and Notre Dame quick to pounce on it. It was Race Bates right there.
Yeah, Bates in the lineup as number 13. Around him, a bunch of changes. We already mentioned Banton in at the 14 in his first career game. John Murphy at 11 and Matt Prame at 12 both draw the starts today. It's Murphy's first start of the year. And Linky in there at 15. He's seen some action, but hasn't always been a starter. Came in last home game against Michigan very early on after the injury to Patrick Jennings, and still no Jennings in the lineup, so Linky gets the start. Coach Hickey was telling us before the game he's thinking about moving him around, although Linky seems to have found a niche in the 15 spot, so it's finding that balance between where he's comfortable versus where he may be needed down the line, right? So we don't know what's going to happen with him, but we know he's going to be doing the conversion kicks today, and a lot of speed on the wing, number 15 in green.
Yeah, he's as fast as lightning. Will Linky is just such a talented player, and he's really coming into his own here with the Irish. Has had some great plays so far this season. But as you mentioned, that fullback position, it's a new role, but I think Will's happy with it. He wants to be there, and today is his day to prove himself in that role.
Yeah, picked up an assist on that first try as well. Primary assist, flipping it out to Banton. So it'll be a Michigan State line out coming. They still have yet to have the ball on Notre Dame's side of the field. Will be Geronimo Balesti who'll throw it in, the junior, number 16 in black today. Junior out of Argentina.
Wow. Same place as Leo Messi, Rosario, Argentina. Although they're shaped a little differently. Messi.
Much different body types.
Yeah.
Balesti comes in at 6'1", 250 pounds, so one of the heaviest players on either team, and Leo Messi maybe half of that.
Yeah, maybe a quarter.
Of course, very different sports that they're designed to play, so
Of course.
one of the reasons that's the case is we're over 7 minutes in. Irish still lead the Spartans 5-0 on the Zach Banton try, his first of his career. It'll be a tap and go for the Irish as they get set. Owen Portelli will give it to Williams, quickly to Bowman. Bowman bulldozes one man who stays with him, finally brings him down.
Great play there from the prop Bowman. Just physical rugby, and this Irish team just looks stronger and more explosive so far.
Yeah, it's of course early on, but you have to be happy if you're an Irish fan seeing the fast start. They've gotten out to some slow starts this year, giving up the first points. This is the first time actually they've led first.
Yeah.
They've given up the first point in all 4 of their other games and managed to come back and win 3 of them, but finally they get out to that 5-0 lead that has eluded them so far this season. We'll see what they can do with that, as right now Michigan State's defense forces Notre Dame back a ton. almost near midfield. But they do take a penalty for their aggression, so Notre Dame will try to kick it into touch. Linky gets a good foot on it, but it'll stay in bounds. No, it's touched out of bounds right around the 5-meter line, so a great result on the kick from Linky. Again, they're down their top 3 kickers, but Linky gets a good boot on that one. He had a good conversion kick attempt earlier, too, from basically no angle. And so line out coming for Notre Dame. We're already seeing 14 and 15 for the Irish, the two British freshmen, not Frenchmen. They are not French, getting involved.
Definitely both having a great day, and Will Linky, as mentioned, just wants to prove himself. Coach Hickey's watching from the stands right now. He's saying, hey, Coach, look at me, a fullback.
And look at Tom Bowman get in near the try zone, and he's in for another 5. The Irish double their score, and Tom Bowman is on the board.
Tom Bowman, he's been everywhere. Wow. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Tom Bowman with a huge try, and the Irish are just running rampant right now. Great start, a dream start for the Fighting Irish on this Irish Wear Green weekend.
Got 10 points in less than 10 minutes for Notre Dame right out of the gate, and Bowman, one of the more underrated players on this Irish team, doesn't get the ball all that often, but when he does, he's hard to take down, as we've seen a couple times already today. Yeah. They're bulldozed it in for the try, and Michigan State just on their heels right now. Notre Dame has come out swinging.
One thing I've loved so far about Notre Dame this season is their defense. We haven't really had to see much of it because this offense has just been everywhere as they win the ball back quickly, of course.
Wow, Linky nails it through for 2. That's the 4th string kicker, by the way. And he just sent that one right through the uprights. What a beautiful kick. So Irish take a 12-0 lead. And as we were saying, we haven't really had to see their defense. And one of the reasons for that is they got to stop right away early on. And then since then, they've had the ball the whole time.
Yeah, it's just been all Irish. They've done such an amazing job so far with possession, keeping the ball, and they're just making smart passes, playing team rugby. I'm really liking what I've seen so far from the Irish. And as for Michigan State, I mean, they really like to get, past that 22-meter line and start doing a little bit of that themselves.
Yeah, that kick, after their first kick, they tried to almost go for an onside kick type play where they try to recover it themselves, but that time they'll just choose to kick it deep, and Notre Dame will have to start their offense from way back in their own zone, and they'll go to Bowman again, get the ball to the hot hand. High kick. It's going to land just about midfield, in and out of the hands of a Spartan, but it's recovered by Ronan Scott, number 2 in black. Spartans will take over right around the center of the pitch. And they're just about, now ball's loose, picked up by Michigan State Bolesti, spinning. Quick offload. There's a good tackle by Williams, and ball's free for a second, but a knock-on is called. And they'll bring it back, as Michigan State had been playing with advantage. So the head referee in light blue today will bring it back to inside the yellow circle in the center of the field.
Some tough physical rugby here right now at Stinson Rugby Field. Michigan State feeling the effects being down 12-0 early. They're just trying to go pound for pound now with Notre Dame and hit them and play physical. However, Notre Dame, led by a very strong defense, they're just not getting knocked down. They're staying straight up, and they're just keeping on going. So it's been good so far for Notre Dame. And again, we talk about this defense. A lot of good signs so far here early on.
It'll be a Michigan State scrum. Notre Dame has had some success recently winning the ball off their opponent's scrums, but no drama here for the Spartans. There's a strong tackle by Matt Prame, number 12. That was on the ball carrier for Michigan State, Anthony Runco. Runco back to his feet and gets back in position. Nowick will offload it. And it's turned over, taken away by Bardsley, and Bardsley powers ahead. Notre Dame's defense goes back to work and forces the turnover. Prame gets through one man, brought down by the second, just bulldozed Jacob Clark there. Here's Williams ducking a tackle, but then he's thrown down. There's a strong play by Bolesti. Free ball on the ground. That's John Barnes trying to find, he'll go out to the left wing. John Murphy down this touchline. Offload to Barnes, well defended by the Spartans, and it goes into touch. So Michigan State with a huge defensive stand, and they get the turnover inside their own 22.
What a play, and just what a run from this Notre Dame team. It all starts with Matt Prame, though. Instead of offloading it, Prame goes. He sees he has some space, he gains a couple of meters, and I think that set the tempo for that Irish possession. And then, of course, going from right to left side of the pitch here, and Notre Dame just was moving and grooving on that possession.
You're creating a late lunch. There's no better
Be a line out coming up, or a scrum looks like, actually close to where a line out would be, but it will be a scrum for Michigan State once they pick up the ball that's loose there. And 12-0 Notre Dame. Zach Banton and Tom Bowman, the try scorers for the Irish. We're just about 14 minutes into this one. Notre Dame ranked number 19 in college rugby, right ahead of number 20 Michigan, whom they beat last week. Michigan State unranked, so a good chance for the Irish to potentially move up again. If they can keep this momentum going as Linky, almost taken down by Clark, still on his feet. High offload to Banton. Banton will cut it back towards the middle, get close to the 22 before going down. Irish will set up a more controlled offensive attack now. It's Collie Erden in the middle, playing number 5 today in the absence of Luke Ingle. One of the lineup changes for the Irish. Wow, look at that passing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Barnes will make it 5, but it's dropped out wide. Murphy had a chance, but pass was a little low and went off his fingertips, and Spartans catch a big break on the defense.
Beautiful from Notre Dame. All the players running as they catch it too, so it's just very fluid in the attack, just like chess. Know what you do before the next move comes, and that's exactly what this Notre Dame offense has done so far. Very, very positive play there from the Irish.
Yeah, already up 12, but you think it could definitely be more based on how much of this game has been played on the right side of the field. And possession has been in favor of Notre Dame too. Usually it's a matter of possession versus field position, and would you rather your opponent have the ball deep in their own territory or you have it deep in your own? And right now Notre Dame has got the best of both worlds, and Michigan State's got the worst of both worlds, but it's only 12, so Michigan State, you never know, could break free one of these times. We've seen Geronimo Balesti make a couple plays for the Spartans team, looking for someone else to step up on offense. And
yeah, I would like to see Notre Dame continue to get this ball out on the either side of the pitch. That's where they've had most of their success. Of course, with Zach Banton and the try, Will Linky, he was like, Mick Jagger just said, you can't touch this, going in and out of defenders on this past possession. And then even on the far side of the pitch, of course, they've had so much momentum going down there and gaining a lot of meters. So we'll see if they're going to continue to do that. I imagine they do, but that's something Notre Dame really has to think about as this half continues to progress and they put some more points on the board, hopefully.
Michigan State went for a substitution there. Couldn't tell from here whether it was an injury related or just a pure sub, but Spartans did make a personnel change early on in this game, one of the earliest times you'll ever see a sub. Of course, 80 minutes to play for these teams, and we haven't even finished a quarter of that, and Michigan already dipping into their bench. Michigan State, I should say.
A big difference, too, with the Spartans and the Irish right now is just some sloppiness, right? Michigan State, I mean, they've had a couple of mistakes right there. You see with the offload hits the ground, bounces, and those couple of seconds, all of a sudden, green defenders swarming all around, so Michigan State forced to kick it out. Notre Dame, they've been flawless so far. So far, so good. Of course, the game is young. You never know what can happen. However, great play so far from Notre Dame, and they've gotten that early season rust off.
Here they're just at about the 22-meter line. But a penalty is called, so flawless no more. They call that the announcer's jinx. First penalty against the Irish.
Well, I shouldn't have spoken.
Michigan State will get a chance to kick it. And that's a big defensive stop for them after their back line was forced to kick it into touch just to avoid a try against. Now they'll kick it into touch to gain field position. Much more positive result on the kick. It'll be a line out coming up for the Spartans. As still only a couple seconds on Notre Dame's half and no offensive zone time more than 10 meters past that midway solid white stripe.
Yeah, you have to start getting worried right now for the Spartans, and if you're Notre Dame, They're right there, but they need to break through. Of course, be patient, but some individual brilliance needs to arise. We saw it last game, and we need to see it again to see who can take this game over. So far, it's been a great team effort, but individually, can any player take this game and run with it?
Michigan State now towards the middle of the field. Banton with a strong tackle. One-on-one play, bringing down the ball carrier. Notre Dame will try a counter ruck and execute it perfectly. Williams to Linky. Linky cuts it back and down near the try line, not in yet. Picked up by Williams, who's tackled. That's a strong tackle from Balesti. Little high, but nothing called. Michigan State trying the try line stand now, stacking the bodies along the line. Bobbled, but corralled. And now a whistle. Notre Dame had been playing with advantage, perhaps on that high tackle. It'll be, ball will be placed at the 5-meter line. Will Linky just inches away from getting the try. Good job by the Spartans defense to, up to this point, bending but not breaking on this possession.
Yeah, bending but not breaking indeed, and for the Irish, so close, but gotta punch it in on that one.
They'll try to punch it in here, still no luck. Ball not on the ground, looks like it's very close. Free, but picked up. McKenzie trying to do it himself, no luck there. So much harder than it looks to just go that extra 1 or 2 meters, and Michigan State's defense is doing a job right now. Just trying to make enough tackles until Notre Dame eventually makes a mistake with the ball. See what will happen first. And here's Williams trying to push the pile. Spartans continue to defend it well.
It's hard in this situation, but a maul of some sorts would be great, or something like that. Oh my.
Packard to Banton. Banton deeks and scores his second try of the half. Zach Banton finds a way to ground it in the try zone, and in his first start, he's got 2 for the Irish.
Well, Charlie, I talk about somebody taking this game and running with it. Zach Banton, only a freshman out on the wing. He is running with it by all means of the phrase. 2 tries, as you mentioned. What a day he's been having, and he's also had some great offloads, some great passes, and the energy he's brought. He's taken this Irish offense and just moved them forward so far on multiple possessions, and he's getting rewarded for it. And right now, Coach Hickey must be thinking, wow, got to put this kid in more.
So much depth on this Notre Dame team. Hard to make lineup decisions sometimes, and Coach Justin Hickey was telling us before the game about the new look lineup and some of the absences they have, injury related, some travel related issues, and Linky's kick is short, I believe. Right on line again, so a good effort from number 15, but under the crossbar, so no good. Zach Banton getting a chance. It's not only his first start, Chris, but his first actual game. There's 18 minutes and 20 seconds left, which means he's played 22 minutes and 40 seconds this season, and he scored 2 tries in that time.
Well, Charlie, number 1, good math on your end right there. Don't think I've been able to do that, and yes, he has just done phenomenal. Very explosive out on the wing. He's got some speed, and him and Linky have connected very well. Linky, again, he's kind of going in and out, and he started that, right? He beat a couple guys. They were 2 meters away. He couldn't quite punch it in. And then, of course, his right-hand man, Zach Banton, said, I'll finish the job, buddy. And he went right in for himself. Huge try on that one.
Well, Chris, I appreciate you supporting my math skills, but after double-checking my addition there, 18 minutes and 20 seconds plus 22 minutes and 40 seconds is actually 41 minutes. So scratch that. It was actually poor math, if you will.
Right. Won't hold you to it.
That's why we're up here and not in the classroom right now, is a blocked kick. Michigan State finally may have a break they need, is kicking it deep and getting some good field position finally on offense. They've finally touched it inside the 22, but they've been ruled for a knock-on right away, so an early chance for them already gone to waste. And if you're Michigan State, you can't let that many offensive opportunities slip away against a defense like Notre Dame's.
No, you cannot. We have not seen them in this area of the pitch at all so far this game, and we are well past the halfway point of this first half here. So for Michigan State. How can you stay here? How can you maintain possession of the ball? And right now, I mean, how can you win it back?
Scrum for the Irish. It's being pushed around. Ball still between them, and the Spartans collect it. Big offload off the hands of the intended target, goes all the way out to the right side. Michigan State moving it forward slowly. That's a good tackle by the Irish. Portelli on the play. Now the ball will be brought back by the official all the way towards the near side of the field. Michigan State retains possession. Notre Dame, almost all 15 of their players with both feet behind their try line, and those who aren't are right there. So we'll see what the Spartans can do on the touch and go.
This is a disciplined Irish defense, but this is the first real test of the game for them to see if they can have a stand of some sorts here and prevent points from being put on the board.
Down near the 5 go the Spartans, trying to find their first try of the game. They'll go out to the far side. Notre Dame's defense continues to be disciplined, as Chris mentions. One of the strengths of this team is their ability to stay in position, not get fooled by fake offloads or juke moves. And get another whistle. And the Irish players are clapping. Seems to be a penalty against the Spartans. And there's that disciplined defense forcing a mistake and getting the turnover.
Yeah, and off the ruck, one goes low and then two come in and lay down the boom. And that's exactly what the Irish do. And it's just never ending for Michigan State. Eventually, they just get tired up there and there's nowhere to go because green shirts are just all around them. And also, again, a bit of sloppiness from Michigan State, a couple passes that went wayward, a couple catches that they didn't bring in properly, and even right there, it's just sloppy rugby. So for Notre Dame, they've been capitalizing on that, and they need to continue to do so as time continues to tick here, and they want to keep putting points on the board.
17-0, they lead, under 15 to go in the first half. Matt Williams on the line out for the Irish. 3-1 so far this season. First time they've been ranked this season after beating Michigan last week by a 31-19 score. They did lead in that game by more than that before Michigan put it together in garbage time. So for Notre Dame, they've had 4 games. They've scored 32, 33, and 31 points in their wins, and 17 in their losses. So there's clearly a magic number there somewhere between 18 and 30.
Yeah, and even their loss was against Marion, who's another ranked team, so a very formidable opponent, number 16 in the country currently. So it was a good loss in a sense. They hung with them for a while. They competed with them, although it was 38-17 for some of that game. Notre Dame was right there. So they have that ability, and as they begin to know each other more as a team, again, this is a very new team compared to last year. They can only get better and better as the season rolls along.
Yeah, Marion, always a tough opponent. Not only do they play Notre Dame tough, but they play everyone tough, and wouldn't be shocked to see them move up from 16th ranked right now. We'll see Michigan State get the ball back, start to push it forward.
Yeah, a bit of a rolling maul right here, and that's going to be a key for Michigan State's success today.
Down by inside the 5 meter. We'll see what they try to do. Maybe go for another maul setup. See if Notre Dame can defend, and they do. It's picked up by Erden. Collie Erden jumped on it, but there was a whistle. So one stop for Notre Dame not going to be enough. After Michigan State was playing with advantage, they'll have to get another one.
I like the idea there from Erden off the ruck just to come in and get it. However, of course, whistle's blown, so a new setup here, and appears to be a touch and go of some sorts.
Yeah, we'll see what the Spartans can scheme up. They'll go to the right. Again, they've loved going to the far side. Whistle stops play once again. Knock on is called against Michigan State. It's tough to tell from up here, but I guess that ball went in and out of the hands of the Spartans player over there, maybe Geronimo Balesti.
Yeah, we couldn't get a good look at it. However, it is a knock on, and again, sloppy big break there for Notre Dame, and Notre Dame needs to capitalize and get it out of this defensive zone. We talked about Michigan State not having it in their attacking zone. Now I feel like for the past 5 minutes or so, it's been all Michigan State. For the Spartans, they got to figure out how to punch it in, get this ball moving left to right.
Yeah, you can look at the progress and say, wow, it's nice to have the ball on their half, but McKenzie gets rocked. There's a good hit. Big collision between two big gentlemen, and it's field position once again to Notre Dame's favor. Possession for the Spartans, though, is officially now you could argue that Notre Dame's defensive stand is complete after a couple stops inside the 5, and Michigan State coming away with no points, and not something that they're gonna like, not something that head coach Jim Rogers is going to appreciate after playing so much defense for the first half of this first half, and then you finally get a chance to play some offense and nothing comes of it. So
Yeah.
give credit to Notre Dame's defense, but if you're Michigan State, definitely a missed opportunity there.
And Patrick McKenzie, who pushed the ball forward for the Irish, made his 100th cap for Notre Dame against Michigan last time out. So in his 101st cap, again, making a huge impact right there. He's so big, so powerful, but I mean, he's as fast as a gazelle. He just moves. It's really deceiving, and it was a great play there for McKenzie to get better field position for the Irish and allow them to reset and breathe for a second.
And McKenzie, the captain of this team, most experienced player for Notre Dame. One of the seniors on this roster and one of 4 in the starting lineup today, alongside Christian Bardsley, Jackson Graham, and Matt Prame. Andrew Packard as well, so 5 seniors in the starting lineup for Notre Dame, going with a little bit of a more experienced look in that regard, but also 3 freshmen in a row, 13, 14, and 15, Bates, Ben, and Linke, as well as LaFranchi, number 4, who we haven't seen much today, kind of surprisingly. Andrew LaFranchi, always a big part of this Notre Dame team, the freshman out of Washington, D.C. And just on cue, there he is with the ball, breaking a tackle, and takes 2 to bring him down, right on the ND logo.
Yeah, and from the line out, it was a good play by Matt Williams to recover, good hand-eye coordination, tracks the ball, catches, and gets the Irish offense rolling.
Michigan State understanding the sideline there and pushing the Irish into touch, so a turnover. One of the best ways to force a turnover is pushing a ball carrier into touch, and Michigan State pulled it off right there, so they'll get prime field position once again. Under 10 to play in the first half. Notre Dame 17, Michigan State 0 on the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel. It's a great day for rugby in South Bend. Not too hot, not too cold, temperature in the mid-70s, and light breeze to keep the athletes cool. No rain after rain on and off yesterday, but not too sunny, no sun in the eyes for any of these athletes. So really just a great day to watch rugby, and these players are having a good time out there. Notre Dame, of course, perhaps a little bit of a better time with a 17-point lead and a little bit less frustration on offense, but Michigan State has definitely evened out the game, if not tilted it in their own favor recently. So give credit to them. We'll see if they finally can break through.
They've gotten into a groove, but Notre Dame, they need to win the ball back, because we know when Notre Dame gets the ball what they can do. They're so dangerous on the attack. And again, their defense is physical. They haven't allowed any points. But it's just, how can you now win the ball back quicker to not just get dominated? Because the more this goes on for Michigan State, the more tired Notre Dame's going to get, and the more susceptible they are to, of course, allowing a try as this game goes down the line.
And after the penalty on the Irish, Michigan State will get another chance to kick it into touch. Referee marks where that kick will be, and ball handler will tell his teammates where to go. Pointing at Blake Vera, number 14, right by us, trying to get him to get to this ball if it stays in bounds, but it doesn't. It's a pretty good kick. Over there, we've seen Michigan State, both teams actually, kicking has not been an issue so far today.
Yeah, not at all. Both teams have done quite well in regards to kicking, and of course the ones Linke has missed, I mean, those are some tough kicks. So he's done well to fit in, as you mentioned, the 4th string kicker, so to say, with the other 3 all being out. It's really, of course, a nightmare scenario, but it turns out to be just fine for the Irish so far.
Colin Artis, their primary kicker, not available today. Alan Gordon has done some kicking for this team as well, also not playing. And so Linke called into duty, almost in an emergency situation. So we'll see what he can do. We've seen him go 1 for 3 on conversions, doing a good job getting the ball into touch whenever he's been asked to do so.
indeed. And as the Irish lost it was Jackson Graham who was progressing forward. He was a guy I talked about. The second half of that Michigan game, straight from the opening kick, went all the way to the house to score a try. Like to see more of Jackson Graham. Haven't seen much of him so far. Fun fact, Jackson Graham's also in Bengal bout, so I mean, he's a tough guy, right? So he's a boxer in the spring and in the winter. He's a rugby player in the fall. He is a true athlete and tough as nails, and they really need to get him going. And I think if they do, the Irish can really expand upon their lead.
Linky keeps that in bounds and is going to try to kick it ahead. Good work tiptoeing on the sideline. Picked up by the Spartans. You mentioned Jackson Graham, really true athlete, someone who, if I were a competitor in Bengal bouts, I would not want to go against him.
You thinking about it, Charlie?
I am not thinking about it. Lots of good athletes in that
Yeah.
annual boxing competition that Notre Dame hosts, and I've had a couple friends do it. The training is very rigorous, and Jackson Graham seems like a great fit for that, given his intensity, his athleticism, his size, everything that you want in not only a rugby player but an athlete in general.
Yeah, I'll gladly announce from the booth. I don't know if I'm going to step into the squared circle, step into the ring. Not sure if that's something I'm looking for, especially if Jackson Graham is lined up across from me. I might just run away and go home to my mom.
Well, the good thing, Chris, is there are different weight classes.
That's
so
true.
We may be in a different bracket should we participate in that, but still going to call it off the table.
Yeah.
I am familiar with some of the names who have won, especially 2 years ago. Notre Dame right along the 1 meter away. I'll try to almost force it in. See if Michigan State can get another stop by the try line. The referee right on top of the play, still watching, trying to find a balance between being out of the way and getting a good view. Ball's loose, and it's turned over, knocked on. I think Graham mishandled that ball laying on the ground, and Michigan State with the defensive stop.
Tough blow for Notre Dame. I got to give Michigan State some credit here. Their try-line defense has been superb thus far. They have allowed tries when the ball comes towards their wing, so I think tactically they're going to adapt to that and send some more defenders out there just to prevent that from a guy like Zach Banton, of course, from marching in. But through the center of the try zone, they've done a phenomenal job.
Well, now get a scrum at about their own 5 meter line. See if they can execute it well. They have been doing a pretty good job of that after Notre Dame has, one of their strengths this year has been the ability to steal the ball on their opponent's scrums. We saw that a lot against Michigan, and even more in their previous home game before that one against Bowling Green.
And that's something you don't see, because 99% of scrums, statistically speaking, go in favor of the team who its scrum is in favor of. And Notre Dame, of course, winning a couple of the opposition scrums. Gosh, golly gee, I mean, if you bet on that, you'd be a rich, rich man.
After some discussion between the players and the referee, the ball is finally fed through. Michigan State, from their own try zone, will kick it. It's a low kick and will give Linky a chance to return it, but it bounces away from him a couple times. Linky gets to it, stays on his feet long enough to shed a tackle. Now he's swung down. Good persistence by that Spartan player on the tackle on the far side of the field. Now it's Barnes down the middle. 3 minutes to go in the half. Notre Dame with a 17-0 lead. Limited scoring since Notre Dame struck twice within the first 10 minutes. Since then, the next 28. Only one try for the two teams combined, as that kick takes a Michigan State bounce into touch. So it'll be Spartans' ball on the line out.
That was a great idea right there from Notre Dame. Number 10, Andrew Packard with the kick. He's actually the president of the rugby club, so he's a guy behind the scenes doing a lot of work, but just a very insightful idea. And I think if the Irish keep doing stuff like that, creative plays to get in behind the last line of defense for Michigan State, they're eventually going to find success, but they just got to keep on pushing forward and keep on doing just what they did there.
Balesti will throw it in for the Spartans as both teams line up on the line out. This is important one for him, trying to make sure it's straight and in his own teammate's hands, but it's picked off. Williams to McKenzie. A little bit of space now and into the try zone. Is it grounded? Yes, it is. Matt Prame the score. And the Irish go up 22-0.
Well, it's phenomenal effort there from Matt Prame, the inside center. But can we talk about Matt Williams winning the line out right there for Notre Dame? That's the second one he has successfully received from Michigan State, right? So he's there, he just gets into the area, and Matt Williams is just causing a lot of trouble for Michigan State right now. And then, of course, it finds the hands of Matt Prame, who has an open hole and marches straight into the try zone. So great play for the Irish, all started by Matt Williams.
Yeah, we talked about the intensity that Jackson Graham plays with, but arguably no one plays with more than Matt Williams. He's always a pest for the opposition on plays like lineouts and scrums, and good tackler, good with the ball in his hands, and forced that turnover and made it happen, as you mentioned, Chris. So 24-0 Notre Dame after Linky's kick is true. Under a minute to play in the half, and a dream half for Notre Dame, not for the Spartans, who have been just victim of too many mistakes here and there, and they've made some good stops by their own try line to keep it from being even worse than 24-0, but too many missed chances on offense and too many turnovers in their own half, leading to this 24-0 spread after 39+ minutes.
Yeah, and I don't think this Michigan State offense is bad by any means, but their defense throughout the season has shown cracks and has shown a lot of holes so far that have let them down. They have 88 points against coming into the season in only 3 games, which is not, a very favorable statistic, of course, for Michigan State. So they're going to need to make some sort of adjustment at halftime to really just stop the leaky faucet that is their defense.
That one is kicked away. There were 88 points against in 3 games, so they're already almost, after less than one half of play, on pace to have that points per game against go up, sitting at just over 29 right now and already giving up 24 to Notre Dame in the first half, and still not over yet. No dead balls to stop play for the half just yet. We'll see if Michigan State can maybe punch it in, as Bolesti has certainly been one of the few noticeable Spartans for the right reasons early on in this game, and there was a powerful run from him to get it in the offensive zone territory.
And he's been everywhere for Michigan State, their best player so far.
Certainly has been, without question. It'll give and go, and it's kicked away by Runco. Linky to receive it, and he's gonna put his hand up. Interesting play from Linky. Raising his hand, almost like signaling a fair catch in football, but obviously different rules here, and he'll kick it out of bounds, and that will end the half. So a tactical play from him to end the half on a high note for the Fighting Irish. They take a 24-0 lead into halftime. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get your second half action on the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel. Just about set for second half action here at Stinson Rugby Field in South Bend. Charlie Morris alongside my partner Chris Daly, and Notre Dame with a 24-0 lead. Chris, how did they get there? What have they been doing so well today?
Well, it's a freshman, Zach Banton, on the wing. He has 2 tries. We talked about him a lot in the first half. He's been everywhere. He's super electric, super fast. And then just a team rugby, swinging it from one side of the pitch to the other. And as soon as they get out onto the wings of the pitch, they've had daylight to run into. It's Michigan State on defense who need to counter that somehow and put some more bodies out there to prevent Notre Dame from doing that. However, Notre Dame, of course, realized what Michigan State was doing. They took full advantage of it, and they played clean, solid rugby so far.
And they're looking to strike early in half number 2. A couple kicked balls, but Josiah Rosar will pick it up for the Spartans. Number 11 in black with the American flag arm sleeve. He's been somewhat noticeable for Michigan State. Geronimo Balesti, the ball carrier right there, has been the best player for the Spartans and lost his pants a little bit there.
Oh no, you don't see that
Not only is that a tough play, but because he's down, he has no choice but to lay there until a teammate grabs the rugby ball away from him before he can stand up and fix the issue. But he's through with it now. That's a good blooper to start second half action. We're just a minute in, and the Irish with a 24-point lead looking to bring this one home for their 4th win of the 2024 season. They've really improved. They were not a great team, not a terrible team by any means last year, but they're showing a lot more this year. Finally ranked right in there at number 19 right now and looking to keep improving. Only lost this year to Marion, as they'll try a maul there. And of course Marion also ranked, so and they do have a ranked win on the resume as well with that victory over Michigan just a week ago.
Yeah, this is a very improved 15 side for Notre Dame. A lot of work has gone in from Justin Hickey's coaching staff to make this possible, and as you see right there, Patrick McKenzie, the captain, he's been a leader for this team, but a lot of the seniors have done great. They've formed into their own roles, and they've recruited very, very well. They've gotten stars out of high school. Race Bates on the ball right there. He's one of the better players in the country domestically, coming out of Brophy Prep over in Arizona. So everybody they've gotten, and like all the pieces they put together, are really coming into place.
Yeah, it's amazing what kind of impact they're getting from freshmen already. Builds a strong future as well as strong present for the Irish. And you mentioned the coaching staff: Justin Hickey, 4 assistant coaches: Kruger Von Biljon, Lonnie Heater, John Grady, Gadiant, and Alex Dorier. So a good coaching staff for Notre Dame, and really putting together something this year that they have lacked in previous years. They've always been a competitive team, no doubt, but the results have not always been there, and this year they're beginning to show.
Oh my goodness, look at him.
Oh, he held him!
Banton nearly broke through, but I believe that's going to be a knock-on, and it is, as the kick was bouncing away from the Spartans, and Banton nearly got there with his foot, but unfortunately for him, hit it forward with his hand, so it's a knock-on instead of a try.
It's unlucky for Zach Bam, but I said look at him because he is just so fast. And again, we talk about someone who took the game and just ran with it. It was Zach Bam. He did so well in the first half, and he's showing no signs of slowing down. He's on an adrenaline rush right now with this being his first game.
Yep, got a star next to his name on my roster sheet, as well as number 19, Brendan Lucy, who we haven't seen yet today, but we should expect the Notre Dame to start using their bench a little bit in this second half, especially if they are able to continue building this 24-0 lead. Lucy, freshman out of Cincinnati, would be his first game action of the year, as well as number 20, Connor Victoria, 2 guys who have not seen the field yet this season for Coach Hickey, who are in the lineup today because of some absences, some injuries, and still waiting on the bench for their name and number to be called. And pretty active Notre Dame bench. They've been active throughout the game, up and clapping and cheering. Of course, many reasons so far to do so. Lots of defensive stands and 4 tries on the board.
Yeah, you would imagine Coach Hickey gives those guys a shot eventually as this half just keeps going along here, and he has in the past couple games as well, and they've done well. I mean, you talk about the depth. The depth of this Irish team is second to none, really. They have such a complete roster, and there's guys, of course, checking in for the first time, making such huge impact. So it really goes to show sky's the limit for this team.
Yeah, they continue to get better. every single week, according to Coach Hickey, they've had to kind of adjust their training plans and their strategy based on the number of absences. But there's Banton again, and he'll go to race Bates. Bates trying to hurdle a tackle. Sticking with him and making the play for Michigan State was Blake Vera. Will now rush over towards the sideline, seemingly getting the worst of that one. But a good tackle nonetheless. Notre Dame now close to the 5. It's Barnes. Will think about it. Tried to do it himself. Well defended.
Would like to see Notre Dame swing this one out wide or maybe try to get a rolling maul. However, they've had a lot of success out on the wings.
Knock on against them here though, and so good work by Michigan State's defense forcing the turnover. Scrum upcoming for the Spartans. We're more than 5 minutes into the second half. 24-0 Notre Dame leads, all 24 of those points coming in the first half. 12 of those 24 in the first 10 minutes. Since then, much more defensive battle by these two teams.
Yeah, Michigan State, I don't think they necessarily got into a groove. However, they did have the ball in their attacking half, which is positive. It's a positive sign for the Spartans team, and of course they want to get it back in there, so going to try to win the scrum and then kick it out.
And they do win the scrum. Rosa along the touchline. As we see Murphy trying to drag him into touch, but good work by Rosa to stay in bounds. The two number 11s going at it there. But now Notre Dame with the ball. So turnover on the field. Notre Dame suddenly knocking on the door on the offense, trying to score the first try of the second half.
Yeah, they're right there. Punching it in has been something Notre Dame's been trying to work on all season. In the first game, they had so many chances against Western Michigan, and even though, of course, it was 32-5 win, it could have been even more had they capitalized on the opportunities of being right here within 10 meters of the try line. So can Notre Dame win it back? Can Notre Dame find a way to sneak in there? It is a big question, and something, especially as you go along and you face higher ranked opponents, something Notre Dame really needs to work on.
Yeah, you think about what leads to success in college rugby. You think about making less mistakes. You think about capitalizing on your opportunities. And right there, if you can make less mistakes than your opponent and have better efficiency from inside the 22, it's a recipe for real success there no matter who you're playing against. And for Notre Dame looking to improve in both those areas, as are Michigan State, as is every team in the country, knowing it's not rocket science to figure that one out. So it'll be another scrum, as the first one was unfit, according to the head referee, who discusses with Captain Patrick McKenzie.
But we got a shoe change, it looks like, going on far side of the pitch here.
So if you're planning on staying for the JV game, you might want to head over there before this game ends.
Not something you see every day.
There we got one of the sideline officials / Michigan State reserves helping out with the shoes of Geronimo Balesti. He'll jog back into play after the quick delay. Clock continues to run. Just over 8 minutes have gone by in the second half. 24-0 Notre Dame lead.
And they're going to want Balesti's shoes to be double knotted because he's been everywhere for Michigan State, their best player so far. We talked about him from Rosario, Argentina. He's a big man, and he's done great things so far for Michigan State at progressing the ball forward for them. It's just hard to take down. Yeah,
very hard to take down, indeed. And I'll have to try to find a balance between getting him the ball as much as possible and not wearing him out too much.
And making sure his shoes stay tied, too.
Yep, that's a big one. Of course, maybe action would have been able to continue on with him tying his shoe, but he was the one who actually had to do the line out. So we got the approval from the referee to put on new shoes. And now a turnover forced by Notre Dame, and they'll start going towards the wing. As you mentioned, Chris, it's Jackson Graham. And it's taken in for the score by Bardsley. Graham feeds Bardsley for the try, and Notre Dame has opened up a 29-point lead.
Great rugby there. Everybody just making the right decision as they just attacked with great fluidity right there. And of course, try. Jackson Graham, perfect pass at Bardsley. Hello, the prop, the senior mechanical engineering major, gets to try for Notre Dame.
Yeah, he engineered A cutback there, fooling 3 Michigan State defenders with 1 plant of his left foot for grounding it for the try. 29 points for the Irish. Again, we mentioned they've scored at least 30 in all of their wins to this point. They're going to have to get another try for that, though, as Linky's kick is short and right.
Score remains 29-0 Irish.
Just over 30 minutes left in this one. Thanks for joining us today on the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel. Pleasant day outside for rugby. No sunshine, but also no rain, more importantly. These players are probably enjoying that after playing through a little bit of rain, at least the Notre Dame ones in their last home game. Wet field conditions caused some mistakes in that one against Michigan, but no such today.
Yeah, it's got to be nice, and they were probably all at the football game yesterday, and right now they're probably thinking, can we get more points in the football team? They had 31 yesterday in that big win over Louisville.
Yeah, 31-24 final score for Notre Dame as the football team, again, wearing green. Every home athletic team for Notre Dame this week wearing green jerseys regardless of the sport, which of course includes this rugby team today wearing green for the 2nd straight game. And it's that one off the hands of Barnes and into touch.
I'll tell you what, Charlie, every team except women's soccer, because the last time they wore green, it was just before the weekend started. I believe it was on Thursday night. Last time they had lost in green, and they didn't want that bad luck to carry forward. So they actually rocked some other jerseys, and they won. They won, but, you know, would have been nice to see them winning green.
Certainly would have been a topic of discussion if they had lost.
Yeah.
So luckily for them, they came away with a win to avoid lots of disapproval from on campus. Of course, Notre Dame has very nice looking green jerseys, if I do say so myself, regardless of the sport. So that lineout was not straight, something that they don't do that often. Notre Dame usually in maroon, or not in maroon, excuse me, in navy, or in white, or in, occasionally they'll wear some other color, but usually it's one of those two, and green is the look for them now, top to bottom, with the green pants and green shorts and green socks. And Michigan State in the black shirts with black shorts and black socks with a little bit of green around the shoulders. And if you're Josiah Rosa, you've got a very colorful armband on your left sleeve, but everyone else more or less staying in line with the colors. One of the Michigan State players in that scrum with some bright pink cleats on, though. That certainly stands out amongst the rest. Looks like Caleb Drenner, the senior, who was a good player for this team last year, who's in those pink and white shoes. Here's Rosa running to his left and running well to his left. Wow, there's a strong tackle, but a good run from Rosa. Ball was on the ground, but picked up by a teammate, carried forward even more. We'll see what Michigan State can do on the offense, looking to get on the board for the first time today. Yet to be held scoreless in a game this season.
Josiah Rosa, one of the wings, just blistering speed. Would be smart of Michigan State to get him isolated out wide and just let him run. He is as fast as the wind. Wow.
Ball's right around mid of the field. There's a fake offload. Good deception by the Spartans there, trying to find a way to make it happen on offense, but they turn it over, and it's quickly kicked away by Portelli. Michigan State recovers in their own half now, trying to progress it back up the field.
Yeah, Will Linky finally, or looks like he might drop back now. Got caught a little high right there, and Irish need to get into shape defensively here to win this ball back. Everybody kind of all jumbled up. As you can see, Patrick McKenzie moving back forward here to the near side of the pitch, and everybody's getting back to where they need to be.
Oh, that's a great run. But Michigan State getting it across halfway. That's one of the few power runs we've seen by someone other than number 16 in black. Ball's free, and it's picked up by the Spartans, trying a stiff arm-like play. Is Jacob Lefebvre.
I think he needs to tie his shorts.
That's not the first time we've seen that from him. Here's Balesti. Down by the 22. In the middle of the pitch, Ronan Scott bulldozing forward. Scott will put it behind him. Offloaded by Bulls. Bullis.
Good defense from the Irish. They're not getting outnumbered right now. Michigan State looking for an overload where they have more players on one side of the pitch than the Irish. However, Notre Dame, again, we talk about their discipline on defense. There's just always so many green shirts right there, and Michigan State is having a tough time at breaking this line that Notre Dame has set up here.
Yeah, we see them trying to play very quick to try to find a way, but knock it on there. So Notre Dame playing with advantage briefly, and then they throw a forward pass so quickly that advantage will be of aid to the Irish. Good defensive stand for them as we're over 15 minutes into the second half. Notre Dame 29, Michigan State still scoreless.
Yeah, Michigan State's, you just say, they need to play fast. They need to play very smart, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 rugby. Just offload, offload, offload. Notre Dame's done that. I don't think Michigan State necessarily has the speed to employ that. They have some bigger bodies. However, Notre Dame, I mean, there's some guys on this team. You look at Jackson Graham, you look at John Barnes and Patrick McKenzie, the 6, 7, and 8, the 2 flankers of the 8-man. I mean, they are big guys themselves, and they're not really going to get bossed around that much. So 2 very different styles, and Michigan State might need to be a bit more adaptable to changing the way they play.
We'll see, not a lot of time left to try to get back in this game. It's going to have to happen quick, and that's a good break for them as a penalty against Notre Dame, and Michigan State's offense gets to go to work on the tap and go. So we'll see what they can come up with as they look to punch it across for their first score. Huge opportunity for them. Got to start somewhere if you're a Spartans fan, down 5 scores.
They gave it to LaFay. He is just a brick wall. How can you stop that guy?
Jacob LaFave, the senior, did most of the heavy lifting on that run. Will the Spartans be able to punch it in? That's the question. They've been down here a couple times in the first half. Couldn't find a way. Once again, here close to the try line and seeing if they can just find something, whether it's through a maul, whether it's through going out wide, or whether it's through just burrowing like LaFave was trying to do. Penalty called against Notre Dame. So they'll have to back up behind their own try line.
Well, LaFave is at the heartbeat of this offensive attack right here, and it's just because he's huge. Notre Dame needs 2 to 3 guys just to bring him down. If you're Michigan State, give the ball to the hands of LaFave, or get LaFave behind the players and just have a rolling maul forwards. It's going to be so tough, though, with all these green shirts lined up in the back line here for Notre Dame.
Hard to see right now who has possession. It is still Michigan State. Look for a second like Notre Dame might be forcing a turnover, but Spartans maintain possession, except they go offsides. So another defensive stand as Michigan State unable to break through. Irish, another defensive stand. One of the key parts to this team, Chris, is their defense. We've seen them have some productive offensive days. They have scored 30 points in 3 out of 4 games, and just about to be, if they can get one more, 4 out of 5. But really the strength of this team is in preventing other teams from getting on the board.
100%. The average score of a losing team in rugby is 24 points. Notre Dame, they're allowing just 19 so far this year. So their defense is elite.
They held Western Michigan to just 5 points. They held Michigan to just 5 points for most of that game. After giving up 15 points out of the gate to Bowling Green State, Notre Dame rattled off 33 in a row without giving any more up. So, again, they have yet to allow 20 points in their wins. Just one game that their defense got torched a little bit, and again, that was to Marion, a very strong team. And they still kept it close for parts of that game. Marion did pull away as it progressed, but you know, their results, Chris, have been very similar. 31-19, 33-15, 32-5. Those are really similar games, and we're seeing another one here, assuming, let's just say, both teams get another try.
Yeah, and we're also going to see a different look Notre Dame team coming in. Andrew Cansfield has checked in the game for Christian Bardsley just about a minute ago. So a new prop, and Bardsley actually had a try, so he's been very impactful in this game, and he had a great game, great showing today for Bardsley. But again, these new fresh legs, can they come in and get some offense going for Notre Dame Fighting Irish? That's the question, and something Coach Hickey, of course, is going to find out right now.
Yeah, for how much success they're having, yet to break the 40-point mark so far in 2024. See if today's the day. Still 2 tries away, assuming at least 1 successful conversion. And with the way Michigan State's tightened up defensively, it's easier said than done.
Yeah, Michigan State has definitely figured out how this Irish offense will like to attack. But again, the talent of this Notre Dame team, and we talk about the seniors and juniors who have been in the program for a while, and the recruits they brought in who are just so immensely talented straight from the opening kickoff of the season. It's going to be hard for Michigan State. These guys are simply so good on Notre Dame. And Notre Dame right now, though, needs to kick it back, get into some better field position and hopefully win the ball back and push forward and get back into that try zone because, listen, the more the merrier, and they want to keep on climbing these college rankings.
Will Linky finds touch.
Those rankings are not the end-all, be-all for sure, but they certainly are indicative, at least partly, about some of the other teams in this country, and it's important for Notre Dame, especially. It's been a little while since they were ranked, and this year, after their last win, they do move into that 19th spot, so still room for growth, and certainly this is not a team that's going to get complacent. And at the same time, the higher you are, the targets on your back, games get a little more difficult, teams get really riled up to play against a team like the Fighting Irish, and so it makes each game become even more difficult for them. Right now, Michigan State certainly didn't feel like they were all that ready to go coming out of the gate, giving up 12 points in the first 10 minutes. Since then, though, in about the next 50 minutes, just under an hour since they went down 12-0, and they've only allowed 17. So really a good adjustment for them. Give credit to Michigan State, but if you're Notre Dame, you have to be happy with where your defense is at right now. Still keeping Michigan State off the board since the opening kickoff.
Yeah,
a couple more substitutions. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Oh, no worries. You have to wonder, in terms of preparation for these games, of course, we're live here on the Notre Dame Rugby channel, but it is challenging out there. There's no true, platform where college rugby can be found. So some of these teams, they go in and all they know is really the written press and what's been written about these teams. And for Notre Dame, some of it's very brief, right, on Golf Rugby Report or the rugbyhawk.com. So there's not too much out there, and if you're going to have to adjust at halftime and really make a plan at halftime, then it's going to put you in a hole because it's a half too late.
And especially with how different Notre Dame's roster has looked in many of their games, it is really hard to scout teams, even ones that are of such familiar foes like Michigan State and Notre Dame, 2 Big Ten opponents who will be seeing each other many times down the road and seasons to come, and they'll be playing against each other in the 7-on-7 format come this spring. This is not too uncommon a matchup between these 2 teams, but again, it's hard to get scouting reports, and based on what you know from the last game, right? So Michigan State and Notre Dame, truthfully, both teams, really their best knowledge comes from looking at common opponents. Western Michigan was a common opponent, and what do you know from last year or 2 years ago? And big player of the game right now for Notre Dame is Zach Banton, who would be very hard to be on Michigan State's radar coming into the game. This being his first ever action for the team, you have to think like their coaches are over there going, who is this guy?
I think Notre Dame might be saying that too. He really just exploded onto the scene today.
Yeah, making it difficult to take him back out of the lineup when if Notre Dame gets more healthy, I should say. Of course, this is such a physically demanding sport. Injuries will happen, and they do happen, and they've been happening to the Irish. It's a good work to not knock that on by Prame as he moved it forward with his feet before picking it up. Matt Prame, the only try scorer of this second half. And bit of animosity on the field. Owen Portelli is not happy with one Spartan player, and now there's a little bit of a get-together. Cooler heads trying to prevail for both teams, and they will. But physical play.
Not quite sure how that got started.
Well,
Around the center of the pitch. Go on.
Yeah, Patrick McKenzie really just making sure all of his boys stay behind him. He's like, I'm the captain, don't do anything stupid. And yes, it was Owen Portelli. I think some words were exchanged right there. Maybe a physical play of some sorts. I know Charlie right now is trying to break up the replay here. So we'll see if we can find anything and let you know. But Owen Portelli right now alongside Patrick McKenzie talking to the ref.
Yeah, looking back at the play, Portelli kicked it away, and just after
And
he
Owen
booted
Portelli
it
receives a
across half
yellow
field, he got
card and Sinden
spun to
together.
the ground. It was a strong tackle. Arguably could have been a high tackle,
Not
but
quite sure how
I
that
would
got
say it
started,
was
but the
legal
ruling is
within the
he
rules of the
started
game. It was definitely a hard play, though, and Portelli, unappreciative of it, got up and instantly pushed the Michigan State player, who backed away with his hands in the air as if saying, what did I do?
Yeah, well,
Certainly
yellow
towing
card.
the line between playing aggressive and playing illegal, but seemed to stay on the legal side again. The tackle was made right at about Portelli's shoulder area, maybe his right above the waist area. And again, he didn't have the ball in his hands anymore, but he had literally just kicked it. So if you're interested in watching the replay on your screen, just rewind it about a minute or two, and you'll be able to see it for yourself before the camera shifts to the left to follow the ball. And we promised the scrum was not that exciting, just a little bit of pushing and shoving, and then instantly both teams, you mentioned McKenzie, but also for Michigan State, their captain going in instantly and kind of separating the pack as if saying, like, let's not get involved in this. And you know, it's been we expected some chippiness. It is a Big Ten rivalry, and we haven't seen too much of it, but finally getting a look at kind of the emotions of the game there.
Yeah, and now removing everything that just happened, looking ahead and looking forward to these last 13 minutes, can Notre Dame start to get into their attacking half? We have not seen much of Notre Dame on the left side of the pitch for your screen right now so far. And it would be nice for Notre Dame to put some more points on the board for themselves as a team, and we talk about the rankings. However, just to get some guys going, and Notre Dame is a very explosive, a very fast team. So one thing is, are they a first half team at times? I mean, a lot of their points have come in the first half, so to start to put some more points on the board later in the games would be a huge plus for Notre Dame as the season goes on, in terms of even just a confidence boost, like, hey, we can play in the second half as well. We can attack in the second half.
Spartan ball.
Absolutely, Chris. And right now it seems Notre Dame very content to play the field position, play tough defense, and Michigan State doing their best to try to break through, but only one try in this half so far.
Yeah, only one try, and maybe you're right, Notre Dame is content to sit back. However, I think if an opportunity does present itself, of course, to get it out wide to one of the wings, Notre Dame just needs to take full advantage of that and let some of these younger guys that come into the game, just let them get that experience of going out there and getting into the nitty-gritty of the attacking zone as well.
You certainly would expect to see, given the scoring situation, some more new faces come into the game for Notre Dame. Perhaps not right now as they're back deep defending their own try line, but they have made a couple subs, and I believe making a tackle there is number 19 in Greed, so Brendan Lucy is in the game.
And the
You
Irish
mentioned
get the ball back.
Andrew Cansfield, number 17, he's also in via the substitution, so Notre Dame will certainly start to get others involved.
And there it is, charging ahead, and now they're gonna get a quick ruck to get it out. However, this is exactly what Notre Dame needed, and all of a sudden you can just feel the surge in momentum and the intensity of this Notre Dame team.
Good kick, it's bobbled over there. Banton going for the hat trick in his first game, still kicking it ahead. Now we'll pick it up on the second try, but whistle blows, stopping the play.
Picks it up.
And something has happened.
I can't really make out what the ref is indicating right now.
And the Irish will be awarded a penalty try.
The Irish will be awarded a penalty try. Now, this is a first for me, Chris. I have never seen
I'm not quite
a
sure who
penalty
gets
try,
there,
but
it was a great play all around.
I guess it gets credited to Banton.
Yeah, well, 100% was just about to say that. Zach Banton just going end to end from South Pole to North Pole. But the
For those
question
who
is,
don't know,
what was
penalty try
the
is
penalty
7
on?
points, bringing the score to 36-0.
Well, Linky's conversion is good, so guess it.
Unfortunately, that means we don't get to see Will Linky kick again. I was really looking
10
forward
minutes to
that.
go in the half. Still trying to figure out what's going on. Again, a first for me seeing a penalty try, but seems that it's just they awarded it because almost if you think about in hockey, someone's got a breakaway and they get, tripped from behind on an empty net. It's an automatic goal. Think
Yeah.
about in other sports where that's maybe the case. None that I can think of off the top of my head, but 7 points for Notre Dame. They'll take it.
Yeah, and a penalty try is essentially when a try would have happened had it not been for a foul by the opposition. The question is what the foul was. No one could really make it out up here. So we're going to figure that out. Maybe after the game. Don't have instant replay, so can't look into that right now, or no Jumbotron here like they do at Notre Dame Stadium across the street. Nevertheless, we talk about Notre Dame getting points on the board and getting into their attacking zone. The one time they have in the past 20 minutes, it ends up in a 7-point play for Notre Dame, which is huge in terms of confidence, and also it just goes to show they can score points in the second half, and once they want to attack, they can attack with some great pace and some great intensity behind them.
So it is credited to Zach Banton. So it is a hat trick for him in his first ever game. How about that for number 14 in green? As it looked like he was just held up from around his shoulder level on that try. And almost breaking free is Connor Mulligan, but he's tackled. Lots of new players in the game for Notre Dame now. Out of the hands of Michael Miotaszewski.
You can sense Michigan State is getting a little antsy right here. They really
Absolutely.
want to put some points on the board as time is ticking, and time is not their friend right now.
Under 8 to play, Notre Dame with 36-0 lead. Looking back on that Banton hat trick try awarded to him, well, we may not have time to talk about that as Notre Dame continues to find space on the wing and rush it up, but Banton was held from up high by a desperate defender doing everything they could to try to keep him from getting into the try zone, and the referee saw enough to just give the 5 points anyway, regardless of whether or not Banton actually picked it up. So again, first for us up here, but
Yeah.
you don't see the penalty try very often in rugby, but we got one there, and Notre Dame will take it, obviously, building that lead to 36. So once again, crossing that 30-point threshold, it's been a magic number for them.
And Will Linky, filling in at 9, finds touch.
I'm liking the impact
also
of the
forgot
subs
to
so
mention,
far.
we have a
Everybody
new face
trying
on
to
the
push
pitch.
forward,
Tom
and
Curran replaces Ray
a lot of
Spates.
just a lot of juice behind these guys right now. They're amped up. They want to get into the game. So all the guys who have come in off the bench are showing some good talent and good energy here late into the game as we have 6:38 on the clock.
Line out for Notre Dame is executed well. They're going to go for a maul right away. Taken by Williams out of the maul. Look at him be crafty. Slides to his right, inside the 5, inside the try line, and he scores. Just wouldn't be taken
And Matt
down.
Williams scores another try.
And Notre Dame is past 40 points for the first time this year.
Well, this is a blowout for Notre Dame, and Matt Williams has been one of their best players all day long. He's made an impact on defense, on offense, and he is rewarded right there. He deserves it more than any other player on the pitch, a kid from Naperville, Illinois. He pretends to go right, goes left, pretends to go left, goes right, marches right in.
And with that try,
And
he'll
for
go
Williams,
off.
he's just been so tough today. He's gotten into some uncomfortable situations, and he's come out on top. So if anybody deserves it, it's him and Williams with a great try right there.
Notre Dame's seventh try of the afternoon. And another conversion from Linky goes through to make it 43-0 for Notre Dame. Hat trick for Banton, Bardsley, Williams, Bowman. All getting tries, and Preem, the 7 try scorers for the Irish today. So there's just about 5 minutes to go in the second half. Notre Dame with a dominant performance today, their most dominant to date here against Michigan State. Again, Michigan State victorious in last year's matchup here at Stinson Rugby Field, and 7-on-7 last spring. Notre Dame came away victorious, and this year they are victorious again.
Yeah, and these games always bring the heat. Last year was 38-26 in favor of the Spartans. 2022's affair was 39-24, and a little thing interesting to note, it was 364 days ago, so almost a year to the day these teams last met when Michigan State won.
And what a difference a year could make, and Michigan State certainly losing some guys, but got to give credit to Notre Dame for the impact players they've had that they didn't have last year. You think not only freshmen, but a little bit healthier this year, even though they are battling some injury. Certainly some more health on this team, and Banton with the 3 tries, the freshman, and there's many reasons why Notre Dame has come out and shown why they're ranked.
Yeah, this has been an impressive showing from Notre Dame, and they could do it on all ends of the pitch. Their attack is pristine, their defense is disciplined. They don't really let anybody ever get in behind. They always seem to have more numbers than the opposition. It appears as if at times Notre Dame has 16 guys down on the field when they're on defense, just because they're always so structured and sound defensively. It's really hard to break them down and, you know, decompose this Notre Dame defense. It's been an issue for every team they faced so far this year, and of course it's been a huge issue today for Michigan State.
3 minutes to go in this one. We get a scrum at about midfield. Next up on the schedule for Notre Dame, game against Ohio State on the 4th. That's a big one for playoff implications for the Irish. Looking good for them right now, but you never know. Ohio State, another Big Ten opponent. That's an away game. We will not have that one for you, unfortunately, but they will be traveling to Ohio State before they get set for Louisville and Hillsdale the following weekend. Hillsdale will be at the JV level.
Nifty play there from Zach Banton too. Just to, sorry to cut you off.
All
Try
good.
real quick, but great play from Banton, going from right side of the pitch to the left, and even with 2 minutes left, the guy's not stopping. It's unreal.
You know, trying to make the most of every opportunity he gets in his first game. McKenzie with Matt Williams out of the game. McKenzie will do the line out for Notre Dame. He'll go mid. It's executed perfectly. They'll try another rolling maul. Seen them do that a lot, but referee was dissatisfied with that one, so we'll stop play. Under 2 to go. Notre Dame still in the driver's seat. Just trying to wane the rest of this clock down. Coach Justin Hickey has to be proud with his team's performance today. He's not one of the most involved coaches. He spent a lot of time today up right next to us with a microphone talking to one of his assistants down at the sideline, but does a lot with this team in practice leading up to these weekend games in terms of prep. He's now in the back of the try zone on the right side of the field, on the opposite side. And you know, he's someone who is very involved during the week, but stays away from his team, lets his team do its thing during game days.
Yeah, I don't even know if they know that he's talking in an earpiece to his assistants, but he's just trying to get a holistic view of the game, a bird's eye view, to see how all the parts are moving, and of course from the box you could see how the defense is structured, how the attack is structured. So he gets a good angle at that.
Packard will give it to McKenzie. Still in, all the way across to the right side. It's offloaded by Drew Artist. Twin brother Colin not in the lineup today, so Drew gets the opportunity coming in off the bench, number 21 in green. Oh, it's LaFranchi in the middle, trying to push his way forward. 14 seconds to go, Notre Dame. Huge lead as Linky will kick it ahead. They try for one more. It's bouncing, still in, and it's grounded, I thought, in the try zone. No signal from the official yet. He's gonna talk to his partner. And there it is. Another try for Notre Dame. What a play to end this game. And if I'm not wrong, that's Banton's 4th of the game.
You are not wrong. Zach Banton, from the minute the whistle blew in the first half to the minute, or to the second, should I say, it blew to end the game. In the second half, he has just been everywhere. And what a day. There's going to be some articles written about Zach Banton, the freshman. Electric, hailing from England, out on the wing today. And for all 80 minutes, Zach Banton has just done everything for this Notre Dame team.
And he scores a minute, 20 seconds into his debut. He scores 80 minutes into his debut to cap it off. And it's going to be the largest victory for Notre Dame this season. It's going to be their first shutout victory of the season. It's the first time they've put up 40 points, and if Linky can make this miraculous kick, it'll be the first time it's 50. It's a pretty good attempt, and it's in! Linky with a bomb from the right touchline. 50 points for Notre Dame. They win it 50-0, Chris.
Wow, just wow, what a performance today. Everything came together for Notre Dame. 50-0. This is the most amount of points they have scored in a long, long time. Previously, they had scored 44 in October 1st of 2022. But just what a game. And 51 actually was October 29th against Syracuse. So it's been almost nearly 2 years since they've scored 50 in a game, Charlie.
Yeah. You said it, Chris. Almost 2 years since this kind of result, and big win for the number 19 Notre Dame Fighting Irish here on a Sunday afternoon in South Bend. For my partner, Chris Daly, my director, Sam Ohaj, and my producer, Nick Ruthroff, I'm Charlie Morris saying so long from the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel. Thanks for watching Notre Dame's 50-0 victory over Michigan State.
Penalty to Michigan State after a strong carry. Knock on Michigan State, but stop short for advantage. Irish poach, but Michigan State has advantage. Ball didn't leave his hands. Redo. Strong drive by the Spartans. Leads to a try. 5-0 Spartans. Conversion successful. 7-0 Spartans. Irish with a group tackle. Brought the Spartans into touch. It's an Irish lineup. Spartans still with advantage off the Irish knock-on. Offside on the Irish. Michigan State with the penalty. injured on the field is number 3, Lucas Stearns. Matt Potter in to replace. Spartans fine touch. Line out Michigan State. Tom Curran with a beautiful, beautiful line there. Intentional knock on Irish will be Spartans penalty. That's a big hit by Patrick Mulligan, but Michigan State gets it out. Stice New off with a strong hit. Knock on Spartans. Irish scrum in the 22. Correction, playing on the ground. Strong Michigan State drive. They've won the ball. A strong carry by the 8. And that's a Michigan State try. Your score, Michigan State 12, Irish 0. conversion unsuccessful. Your score, Irish 0, Michigan State 12. Strong tackle by Connor Victoria. Strong hit. Box kick, Drew Artis. Crafty kick. And kicked out the back by Michigan State. What an effort. Strong drive. And a try for the Irish. Tom Jericho with a strong conversion. Your score, Irish 7, Michigan State 12. Strong hit off the kickoff. That'll be an Irish knock-on. That's a strong coach by Stice Newhoff. Announcer extraordinaire. Oh, that's going to be a high tackle. And a line out to the Irish after ball's kicked to touch. Alan Gordon with beautiful touch stretch work. And the Irish will maul. Thank you to fans for the correction on the scoreboard. Your score 7-12, Michigan State. It's going to be a knock-on by the Irish. Scrum down to Michigan State. penalty to the Irish. With another penalty for not being back 10. Irish tap and go. Stop dead in their tracks. Irish tap and go. Drew Artis with a show and go. An advantage to the Irish. Knock on Irish, but we go back to the penalty. And try scored. Will Krasick with a great assist. Your score, 12-12, with a conversion awaiting. And just right by Tom Jericho. Great attempt.
I just totally put my foot right out there. God, so is that playing on Friday? I got way too deep in the wire. He would have. And so he's like, got it. So I'm playing. Still going to the game? And I was like, I was like, but don't worry, my whole family's coming to play today. It's like, oh, good. It's not bad.
You have to stop by now.
I know. Are they fun?
Patrick Mulligan with a great connection. He stopped on the one with a beautiful offload to Brian. In for a try. Try awarded. That's number 12, Bryden Heideloff. conversion just to the right for Tom Jericho. Your score, Irish 17, Michigan State 12.
I've been here for
Not releasing the tackle. Penalty to the Irish. And a great boot puts the Irish past the 50 for a lineout. Penalty to Michigan State. Not sure why.
So yeah, so Matt Shaw, what's up? Hello. How you doing? Hey T-Bird. Injured and varsity already played. This is JV. Yeah.
Knock on Irish. Michigan State's thrown. Eight-man pick. Irish pick it up.
I mean, I like the guy. He's really he gave like 20 pages.
The Irish find touch off the penalty. Irish knock it on. Scrum down, Michigan State.
Oh my god. So that's what you did.
Michigan State wins the scrum. Line out Irish. Scrum down, Michigan State. Ball comes out, 8-man pick. Beautiful grubber by Michigan State. In the touch. It'll be line out Irish. The Irish lose the line out.
It's not a formal thing. It's a, yeah. So it's I thought it was like a girl that might on his own volition. He was bullied. Mike's not a fling guy.
Knock on Michigan State. Will be scrum down to the Irish.
Get this man a wife. Like the Balkans over
be penalty to Michigan State. Irish collapse.
Every single Slavic thing that we met was just that's pretty awesome. I was like, what do you like doing? And they're like, I ski and I snowboard, I hike and I camp, I do a lot of fishing. You're like, pretty awesome. I like
Tom Jericho with a great hunt down. Ball comes out, but Michigan State recovers. And that is halftime. Your score, Irish 17, Michigan State 12. We'll be back in a few.
Dude, coach's name is Radio. I can get you a large. Yeah. Give that to me. I'll put it away and I'll give you a large at some point. Okay. Well, then I'll give you a large. I hid them away. I mean, if you don't want to play, just don't play, bro. Just start announcing. See, James. Bro's laughing at Coach.
Join the commentary back.
Dude, Ashton was telling me he got fucked up. It was sick. He was just said he was sick the entire day Saturday. I couldn't think of that. He's gonna melt in here, isn't he? think you're gonna play at all, then go. But if you don't want to play and don't think you will, then chill out there because if they hear your voice and you see Coach Green, it's just like or let me do it. No, I lost my voice. I do not want to come back. I'm gonna say like one thing, which is what happened. So when we score, I'll just be like penalty on it. That's fine. And that's the second.
Knock on by Michigan State. It'll be a Notre Dame scrum.
I don't think he would play. I think he'll be good.
Penalty to Michigan State.
Yeah, I agree.
Kicking to touch off the penalty. It'll be a line out for Michigan State.
It's about that. That's weird. The other day I was trying to send my friends a song and I couldn't do it, so I was using like the first one because I was around it. And like I fumbled my words when I was like trying to tell like explain to them the situation. And so the first voice memo is just like on Snapchat being like, hey guys, you know like like that's it. And I had to send it. So it's just because if you record on Snap, there's no option to like listen back before you play. It's just like you're not recording. And you, as soon as you stop recording, it saves. I don't know if anybody's. I hope nobody saved it. Thank you, and that's good. Yeah, Brian.
Jericho's got to get out of that. Scrum for Michigan State. Correction, Notre Dame scrum. penalty to Michigan State. The kick from the penalty finds touch, even though it bounced inside first, it'll still be a line out for Michigan State.
Yes, Dice!
Big run from Cy Seahawk. Not
Yes,
this down, that's
Dice!
offside.
Yeah, baby!
Brought down at the 5-meter line. Taken quickly by Michael. And that's a try for the Irish. Conversion unsuccessful. The score remains 22-12 for Notre Dame. Ball went backwards, square. Turnover to Michigan State. Ball kicked away, will come back to the advantage. Penalty to Michigan State. ball gets in play. Kicked away by the Irish. Taken by Size Newhoff. Chipped over by Drew Artis. Chasing. Kick through. Ball kicked out inside the 22. The referee will call back for a penalty for holding. The Irish opts to play forward to where the ball is kicked out, but the referee will come back for the advantage. And Drew out his fine touch. It'll be a line out for the Irish. Try for the Irish. Penalty unsuccessful, the score remains 27-12. kicking into touch. It'll be a line out to Notre Dame. Penalty to Michigan State. Not sporting your way. Michigan State fine touch. It'll be a line out to the Spartans. Penalty to the Spartans. Strong kick from Michigan State, finds touch right in the 22. Ball goes into touch on the full, so we'll be back to the point of the kick. Ball stripped. Kicking down to Notre Dame's 22. They'll play it wide. Advantage, high tackle.
Get out there, Joe. Dude, Joe's got great footwork. Ooh. That was good. Send it, I've been sight. Yeah, no, you take it.
Huge run from the Irish into the try for Notre Dame. Conversion unsuccessful, the score will stand. Play on advantage.
Step him, Anthony!
Try for the Irish. Jericho's conversion attempt was unsuccessful. Referee give a penalty. Michigan State. Taken on the spot by the big man, brought down within the Irish 23. Another penalty for the Spartans. Taken again by the big man, and just running through the Irish line. Knock on by Michigan State, it'll be a scrub for the Irish. That'll be a penalty to the Irish off his feet in a ruck. Try for the Irish. Conversion attempt is unsuccessful. knock on called. It'll be a scrum to the Spartans. Come back for a high tackle advantage. Penalty to the Spartans. Big man is back up. Spartans will have to kick the touch and they find it on the just outside the 5-meter line. Advantage to the Irish, knock on by the Spartans. Penalty to the Spartans. Obstruction. During the knock-on advantage, the Spartans get away a penalty for not releasing. Drew Hollis finds touch. It'll be a line out to the Irish.
You should try it sometime. It's fun. Go, 19, 23, 16, baby Roski.
Knock-on advantage. Scrum down to the Spartans. Knock on by the Spartans, it'll be an Irish scrum.
But it seems like they don't know that. It's like they don't know that you're that you're to make us laugh. Just because it's like, yeah, like all of a sudden your voice changes. I'm calling on the Spartans. No, for the team that's on the field. I mean, you hear it. Entertainment. Thanks for
Turnover, the Irish have possession, and Tom Jericho will kick it out. And that's the game. Congratulations to both teams. The final score will be 42-12 to the Irish.